Did you know? Axolotls can transform into salamander? They have a hidden talent that's straight out of a comic book. Axolotls are those adorable, smiley-faced salamanders that never grow up. In the wild, they stay in their larval form their whole lives, a cool trick called neoteny. But here's the twist. Under certain conditions like poor water quality or high iodine levels, axolotls can metamorphose. They lose their cute external gills, grow lungs, and get beefier limbs to walk on land. However, it's not all superhero stuff. Induced metamorphosis can be risky and might shorten their lifespan. So, it's usually best to keep them in their natural aquatic form. If you're an axolotl owner, knowing about this transformation can be handy. But always consult an expert first. Keep those little guys happy and healthy in their watery home. Did you know? Male honeybees die after mating. Male honeybees have the most dramatic love life on the planet. When a male honeybee, known as a drone, mates with a queen, his endophallus, basically his reproductive organ, gets forcefully ejected into the queen. And I mean forcefully. The process is so intense it actually ruptures the poor guy's abdomen, causing him to die. This extreme mating strategy ensures the queen gets a massive amount of sperm, vital for producing a healthy colony. Nature's a bit dramatic, huh? But here's the kicker. This is unique to honeybees. Most other insects, even other bees, don't go out with such a bang. So next time you see a buzzing bee, remember, he might just be risking it all for love. And that, my friends, is the shocking truth about male honeybees' fatal mating ritual. Did you know? Chainsaw was invented as a tool to aid in childbirth. No joke. In the late 18th century, two Scottish doctors, John Aitken and James Jeffrey, developed a prototype of the chainsaw to help with symphysiotomy. That's a medical procedure to widen the pelvic opening during childbirth. Imagine that. But don't worry, those early chainsaws were a far cry from the roaring wood-cutting beasts we know today. They were small, hand-cranked, and nothing like the powerful machines lumberjacks use. The medical use of chainsaws was short-lived, thankfully. As anesthesia and other surgical techniques improved, the need for such a dramatic tool in childbirth faded away. Fast forward to today, and chainsaws have found their true calling in the world of forestry and carpentry. Isn't it wild how a tool designed for a specific medical purpose evolved into something we use for cutting down trees? Did you know? Your daily cigarette might be more radioactive than living near a nuclear plant. Intrigued? Let's dive in. Cigarettes contain polonium-210, a radioactive element absorbed by tobacco plants from the soil. When you light up, you're not just inhaling nicotine and tar, but tiny radioactive particles too. Over time, this radiation builds up in your lungs, increasing your risk of lung cancer and other nasty health issues. Meanwhile, living next to a nuclear power plant, surprisingly safer. These plants are packed with safety measures, keeping radiation exposure incredibly low and well-regulated. So next time you reach for a smoke, remember this wacky yet sobering fact. That little cigarette is packing more radioactive punch than a nuclear power plant next door. Who knew, right? Stay healthy, stay informed, and maybe think twice before lighting up. Did you know? Crane operators doesn't poop in buckets. While it might sound like a bizarre urban legend, crane operators do not typically poop in buckets. That's right, folks. Modern cranes often come with small portable toilets right in the operator's cabin. These toilets are easy to clean and maintain, making life way more sanitary up there. And for cranes without built-in toilets, operators plan their shifts to align with breaks or use portable toilets on the ground. So, while the idea of a bucket might be funny, it's not a common or necessary practice. Next time you look up at a crane, you'll know the truth. No buckets required. Did you know? Defibrillators are not designed to restart a completely stopped heart. Defibrillators, those cool shock paddles you see on TV, aren't just for dramatic rescues. They're used to treat life-threatening heart rhythms like ventricular fibrillation and pulseless ventricular tachycardia. But here's the kicker, they don't restart a completely stopped heart. So what's the deal? Shockable rhythms like VF and VT can be zapped back to normal with a defibrillator. Think of it as a reboot for your heart. But a flatline or asystole is a no-go for shocks. In that case, CPR is your best friend. Pumping blood and oxygen until advanced help arrives is crucial. Remember, early CPR and defibrillation can double or triple survival chances during cardiac arrest. So next time you see those paddles, you'll know. It's not all Hollywood hype. Stay safe, stay informed, and keep your heart in rhythm. Did you know? A blind donkey will often bond with a seeing donkey who will act as their guide. So, here's the scoop. Blind donkeys often buddy up with seeing donkeys who become their personal GPS. It's like the ultimate donkey bromance. The blind donkey trusts the seeing donkey for guidance. And the seeing donkey? They step up with a sense of protectiveness like, "I got you, bro." These donkey duos communicate with subtle cues, a little bray here, a nudge there. And studies show blind donkeys with seeing pals are way less stressed. It's like having a best friend who always knows where the snacks are. So next time you see a pair of donkeys and one seems to be leading, just know, you're witnessing a heartwarming friendship that's all about trust and teamwork. Who knew donkeys could teach us so much about empathy? Pretty cool, right? Did you know? Giraffes have the same number of neck bones as humans. Both species have 7 neck bones or cervical vertebrae. But there's a twist. While ours are pretty standard, giraffes' neck bones are supersized. These megavertebrae give them those iconic long necks. This neck length isn't just for show. It helps giraffes reach the highest, tastiest leaves on trees, giving them a huge advantage when foraging. So next time you see a giraffe, remember, same number of neck bones as us, just really, really big. Pretty cool, right? That's your giraffe fact of the day. Did you know? There's a chance when you slap your hand on a table, your hand can go through the table. This concept is rooted in the principles of quantum mechanics, specifically quantum tunneling. At the quantum level, particles can exhibit wave-like behavior. This means they can sometimes sneak through barriers, even ones they shouldn't be able to cross. Imagine your hand as a bunch of tiny particles. There's a 1 in 5,261 circumflex 61 chance these particles will all miss the atoms in the table, letting your hand pass through. Sounds wild, right? But don't get too excited. That number is so astronomically huge it's practically impossible. The forces holding everything together are just too strong. So while it's fun to think about, you won't be phasing through tables anytime soon. But hey, next time you slap a table, you can impress your friends with a little quantum trivia. Did you know? Male hippos engage in a unique mating display involving poop and tail spinning. So hippos have this crazy dating ritual. Picture a male hippo in the water, surrounded by potential girlfriends. To impress them, he starts pooping. But wait, there's more. He spins his tail like a helicopter, spraying poop everywhere. The more it flies, the hotter he looks. Why do they do this? First, it's a territorial thing. By spreading their scent, they say, "This spot is mine, back off." Second, it's a fitness test for the ladies. A powerful poop shower means the male is strong and healthy. Lastly, it's a social signal. Among males, the biggest and best spray wins the top spot in the hierarchy. So, next time you think your dating game is weird, remember the hippos. These guys have turned poop into an art form. Nature, you never cease to amaze. Did you know? Human glow in the dark. It's glowing. Humans are in fact slightly bioluminescent. That's right, we emit a faint glow that's too weak for our eyes to see, but specialized cameras can capture it. Why do we glow? Well, scientists believe it's linked to the metabolic processes in our cells. Most of this light is in the infrared spectrum, but a tiny bit falls into the visible range. Now, about those stripes under UV light, that's a bit of a myth. While UV light can highlight variations in our skin pigmentation, it doesn't reveal tiger stripes. So while we're not exactly lighting up like fireflies, there's definitely a subtle, otherworldly glow about us that science is still unraveling. Pretty cool, right? Next time you see a firefly, remember, you've got a bit of that magic too. Did you know? Koalas have human-like fingerprints? Their fingerprints are practically twins with ours. If you put a koala fingerprint under a microscope next to a human one, you'd be hard-pressed to tell them apart. Those ridges and whorls are shockingly similar. But why do they have them? Well, just like us, koalas need a good grip. They spend their days climbing trees and gripping branches, and those fingerprints help them hang on tight. What's really cool is that this similarity is a case of convergent evolution. That's a fancy way of saying that two unrelated species, like humans and koalas, developed similar traits independently. It's a testament to how effective these little ridges are for gripping and sensing our environment. So next time you see a koala, remember, you've got more in common than you think. Did you know? Mars' atmosphere is over 95% carbon dioxide and less than 1% oxygen. That's like trying to breathe on the inside of a soda can. And the atmosphere is super thin, only about 1% the density of Earth's. So, no protection from nasty radiation and wild temperature swings. Think sunburn and frostbite all in one day. Oxygen? Forget about it. You'd need a life support system just to breathe. And those temperatures? Mars goes from freezing cold to kinda warm, but never cozy. Radiation is another biggie. The thin atmosphere means Mars gets blasted with harmful rays from the sun and cosmic rays. Oh, and water? There's ice, but good luck finding a drinkable sip. So living on Mars means we need cutting-edge tech for life support, radiation shielding, and producing oxygen and water. It's a tough gig, but with ongoing research, who knows? Someday we might just call the red planet home. Did you know? Oreos are technically vegan. So here's the scoop. Oreos don't contain any animal-derived ingredients. That means they're free of milk, eggs, and honey. Sounds too good to be true, right? But hold on, there's a little catch. Even though the ingredients are vegan-friendly, Oreos are made in factories that also handle dairy products. This means there's a risk of cross-contamination. For most folks, this isn't a big deal. But if you have a severe dairy allergy or follow a strict vegan diet, you'll want to consider this. So while you can technically enjoy that creamy, chocolatey goodness guilt-free, it's always good to be aware of the details. Make your choice based on your dietary needs and sensitivities, and hey, at the end of the day, it's your snack, your rules. Did you know? Some penguin species give pebbles to females as part of their courtship ritual. No, seriously, penguins have a unique way of saying I love you by giving pebbles. Male penguins, like the African and Magellanic, spend hours searching for the perfect pebble to woo their lady love. It's not just a cute gesture, these pebbles are crucial for building their nests. Imagine this, a penguin colony bustling with males showing off their pebble collections. It's like their version of a game show, Who Wants to be a Pebble-Ionaire? The best pebbles mean a stronger nest and a higher social status. But the pebble giving isn't just practical, it's romantic too. The act of collecting and presenting these pebbles strengthens the bond between the lovebirds. So, next time you see a penguin couple, remember that their love story is built on a foundation of pebbles. Quite literally. Penguins, redefining romance, one pebble at a time. Who knew love could be so rock solid? Did you know? More pigeons have war medals than horses, dogs, or mules. During World War I and World War II, pigeons were the ultimate undercover agents. These feathered friends carried vital messages across enemy lines, dodging bullets and bombs like feathered ninjas. For their bravery, many pigeons were awarded the prestigious Dickin Medal, the animal equivalent of the Victoria Cross. That's right, they got bling for their bravery. While horses, dogs, and mules also served with distinction, pigeons took on a unique and perilous role as aerial messengers. Their fearless flight saved countless lives and turned the tides of many battles. So next time you see a pigeon, give it a little nod of respect. After all, you never know if it's a decorated war hero. Did you know? The smell of freshly cut grass is a distress signal emitted by the plant. When you mow the lawn, you're not just giving your yard a trim. You're triggering a plant's defense mechanism. That amazing smell comes from volatile organic compounds, or VOCs. These compounds are like a plant's 911 call. Here's the kicker. That sweet scent attracts beneficial insects like parasitic wasps. These little heroes swoop in to save the day by taking out the pests munching on your grass. It's nature's very own superhero squad. So the next time you catch a whiff of freshly cut grass, remember, it's a plant SOS, summoning its insect allies to fend off the bad guys. Who knew your Saturday chore was so full of drama? Did you know? Shining an ultraviolet light on a platypus makes the animal's fur fluoresce with a greenish-blue tint. They even glow in the dark. Now, why do they glow? Scientists are still scratching their heads, but they've got a few theories. 1, it might be camouflage. Picture this, a glowing platypus blending into moonlit waters. Sneaky, right? 2, it could be a way for them to communicate. Imagine using glow-in-the-dark signals to chat in murky water. Platypus Morse code, anyone? And 3, it might protect their skin from UV rays. Think of it as a built-in sunscreen with style. This just adds another layer of woe to these already bizarre creatures, just when you thought platypuses couldn't get any weirder. So next time you're out in the wild with an ultraviolet light, keep an eye out for a glowing platypus. Nature's full of surprises. Did you know? Point shoes are still handmade. Point shoes are like snowflakes, no two are the same. Each pair is handmade, and each maker has their own unique stamp. So even if you buy 2 pairs from the same company in the same style, they'll still be a bit different. Professional dancers, they're shoe snobs in the best way possible. They often have 1, 2 favorite makers whose shoes fit just right. And get this, if their favorite maker retires, some dancers hang up their point shoes for good. Imagine finding the perfect shoe, then losing it forever. That's the life of a ballerina. So next time you see a dancer twirling flawlessly, remember, it's partly thanks to those one-of-a-kind handmade point shoes. Ballet, it's not just an art, it's a science of the soul. Did you know? Rabies kills around 60,000 people every year, mostly in Asia and Africa. Once the symptoms show up, it's basically game over. Only 14 people have ever made it after symptoms started. But here's the kicker. Rabies is totally preventable. It's usually spread through the bite of an infected animal, often dogs. Early symptoms can look like a standard flu fever, headache, muscle weakness. But then it gets nasty. Anxiety, confusion, hallucinations, difficulty swallowing, and even hydrophobia, the fear of water. So how do we beat this? Simple. Vaccination. Vaccinate your pets and yourself if you're bitten. Avoid stray animals, and if you do get bitten, seek medical help ASAP. By understanding the risks and taking action, we can knock down those scary rabies stats. Stay safe, stay informed, and keep those vaccines up to date. Did you know? Sloths can also die of starvation with a full stomach. Sloths have a super unique digestive system that's like a delicate dance with temperature. They rely on a very specific range of temperatures to digest their food properly. Their gut is packed with special bacteria that help break down tough leaves. But here's the kicker, when it gets too cold, those bacteria slow down, and digestion comes to a crawl. Imagine eating your favorite meal and still feeling hungry because your stomach can't do its job. In extreme cases, if the gut bacteria go completely inactive, sloths can actually starve, even with a belly full of food. This delicate balance with their environment makes sloths super sensitive to changes in temperature and humidity. With climate change stirring things up, it's making life even tougher for these slow-mo cuties. So next time you see a sloth, remember, their survival is a slow, delicate dance with nature. Will they keep up the groove? Only time will tell, did you know? A compressed spring weighs more than when the same spring is at rest. This might seem counterintuitive, but it's a direct consequence of Einstein's famous equation, E = mc2. Basically, energy and mass are like besties. When you compress the spring, you're cramming potential energy into it. And that energy, it adds a teeny tiny bit of mass. Now before you rush to weigh your springs, a heads up, the change is super small, like microscopic. Your bathroom scale won't even notice. But it's a mind-blowing fact that connects energy to mass in a way that's, well, pretty springtastic. So next time you see a spring, remember there's more to it than meets the eye. And maybe give a nod to Einstein. He really knew how to add weight to a conversation. Did you know? Squirrels can forget about 74% of the nuts they bury. While that sounds like a bad case of short-term memory loss, it's actually a win for Mother Nature. First up, forest regeneration. Those forgotten nuts, they sprout into new trees, making sure our forests stay lush and green. So next time you enjoy a walk in the woods, thank a squirrel. Then, there's the unexpected bonus for other animals. Birds, rodents, and other critters feast on the forgotten nuts, turning a squirrel's slip-up into a feast. Talk about sharing the wealth. And let's not forget natural selection. Squirrels that remember their hiding spots are more likely to survive and thrive, meaning future generations of squirrels might just get smarter. Evolution at work, folks. So, while it may seem like squirrels are just scatterbrained snackers, their forgetfulness is a key player in keeping our forests healthy and diverse. Who knew being forgetful could be so beneficial? Did you know? When a star explodes, it releases a gamma burst that destroys everything in its path. If one of these bad boys goes off near Earth, say goodbye to life as we know it. Here's the scary part. No warning. It happens instantly. Imagine a burst of energy so powerful, it could deplete our ozone layer, exposing us to nasty UV radiation. Yikes. But wait, there's more. The burst could ionize our atmosphere, messing up all our electronics and communications. And the worst-case scenario? Mass extinction. Now before you start panicking, breathe easy. The chance of a GRB hitting us is super low. Most of them are billions of light years away. Astronomers are keeping an eye out, so we're not completely in the dark. So while a gamma-ray burst is an ultimate threat, it's not an imminent one. But hey, it's always good to know what the universe has up its sleeve, right? Did you know? The first toothpaste was Portuguese urine. Yep, you heard that right. In ancient times, the first toothpaste was actually Portuguese urine. The ammonia in it was believed to whiten teeth, and guess what? Only royalty could afford to have it imported. Imagine getting a shipment of, well, you know, just for brushing your teeth. The ancient Romans, especially the upper class, were all about this. They thought Portuguese urine was the most potent, probably due to diet and some funky fermentation process, but hey, don't try this at home. While ammonia has some cleaning power, it can also wreck your enamel and irritate your gums. Stick to modern toothpaste, folks. It's got all the benefits without the, unique ingredients. Who knew ancient dental care could be so golden? Did you know? Turtles can feel their shells and enjoy being pet. Turtles might look like walking tanks with their hard shells, but those shells are packed with nerves, meaning they can feel every gentle touch. Yep, that's right. Your turtle can actually enjoy a nice pet on the back. Many turtle owners say their shelled buddies love a gentle rub or brush. Some turtles even come over asking for more. But here's the twist. Be gentle and watch their body language. If your turtle seems stressed or tries to walk away, it's time to give them space. Remember, every turtle is unique. What one turtle loves, another might not. So always approach with care and respect. So next time you're chilling with your turtle, give them a gentle pet and see if they enjoy it. Did you know? One twin can absorb the other in the womb. It's called vanishing twin syndrome. Imagine you're a twin in the early stages of pregnancy and then, poof, one of you just disappears. This happens when one twin fails to develop or dies early on, and the fetal tissue gets reabsorbed by the surviving twin, the mother's body, or the placenta. Sounds like sci-fi, but it's a natural process. It's surprisingly common too. Up to 30% of pregnancies that start with twins end with just one baby. Before you think it's all doom and gloom, remember this process actually helps protect and support the surviving twin. Nature's way of balancing the scales. So next time you hear about twins, you'll know there's a bit more magic and mystery happening in the womb than you might have thought. Did you know? The US Navy utilized marine mammals, particularly dolphins and sea lions, for various military purposes. Yep, these smart marine mammals are trained to detect underwater mines. Think of them as the ocean's bomb squad, and it's not just dolphins. Sea lions are on the team too. They're the Navy's underwater security guards, catching sneaky divers trying to slip into restricted areas. But wait, there's more. Lost your underwater iPhone? Dolphins and sea lions are also expert treasure hunters, recovering lost equipment from the ocean floor. Rest assured, these marine marvels are treated like royalty. The Navy's Marine Mammal Program follows strict animal welfare standards. Their well-being is top priority. So next time you hear about Navy dolphins, remember they're not just swimming around, they're saving lives and keeping our oceans safe. How cool is that? Like and subscribe if you learned something new today.